Gas or public transportation, y'all got to understand gas is not $2 no more. If it was, a lot of people would be okay. But right now, gas is about 3 in most places, right? If you don't have a car and you're using Lyft and Uber or using public transportation, that's money coming out of your pocket every day or every week, right? The cost of living is rising faster than you can even blink. And it is. But for some reason, our paychecks are staying the exact same unless they offer overtime. Because remember yesterday, or was it today? One of the two. Yesterday I talked about tariffs, right? Okay. Well, now that you taxing other countries on food and stuff, what does that mean for the US and people like me and you that go grocery shopping? If groceries is already high, you gonna make them even higher? I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me. One income should be enough, but it's not. Now, I spoke a little bit on it the other day, but the other day I went more into depth of why the system is meant for you to be right where you at. It's not meant for you to move up in no kind of way. The job market in this system is not in any means or in any way for you to win. When you understand that, you'll maneuver through life a little better. You'll understand why I'm saying that one income isn't enough and why you need to have multiple things going for yourself or just not solely dependent on one thing, right? It was never built like that, right? The company is using you to build the company. Do you understand me? The company that you work for is using you to build their company. Nothing you do inside there is going to build anything for yourself. Do you get me? All right, don't fall off the boat yet. Why do you think people who already are knowledgeable on information charge you for it? Think about that. All right. Information is key. Information is key. Now, why one paycheck isn't cutting it anymore? I'm going to give you a basic breakdown of what people are going through right now, right? First of all, rent, and I'm gonna have some grace about it. 1,500 for rent. Okay? And that's if you're lucky. You might have those sprinkle of people in the comments that say, my rent's only 1,100. I'm paying 950. That's cool. Let me spit right quick. Groceries is 400 a month. That's $100 a week, right? Okay. To $600 a month for a single person or even a family. Not everybody getting food stamps. Remember that. Okay. Gas or public transportation, y'all got to understand gas is not $2 no more. If it was, a lot of people would be okay. But right now, gas is about 3 in most places, right? Okay, let's jump even further. If you don't have a car and you're using Lyft and Uber or you're using public transportation, that's money coming out of your pocket every day or every week, right? Okay. Another 200, right? Another 200 for utilities. And I'm giving it grace right now. I'm giving it grace. I didn't even bring up insurance. I didn't bring up your phone bill. It all adds up very fast, bro. Right? Like student loans, credit card debt, debit cards. What else? What other debt is there? Student loan, credit card debt. We'll stop there. That's fine. So if you work in a full-time job that's only paying $2,500 a month, I even give you $3,000 a month. You already behind, bro. You already behind. $1,500 for rent. That's half the check, homie. Already. So when people say, or when I say that, this is why I do multiple things, right? They say one job is enough. I want you to explain to me, well, what I just said. Explain to me how one job is enough. Y'all let me know, right? But this is the math that most people are going through. That's the math, right? And they don't teach you none of that in school. They don't teach you that, right? Back in the day, one income could support your family and a household. It could. Gas used to be $2. Eggs used to be $1, $2, right? We're not living in that time no more. You could buy a house, raise a family, and maybe even take a vacation. I asked y'all this: how many vacations you been on in the past year? And through 2024, how many vacations you take? Y'all let me know. But now, even with 2 jobs, a lot of people are barely getting by. And why? It's because everything has skyrocketed out of pocket. Now, I've also said, okay, cool. If it has to be inflation, why don't you up the pay for jobs, even minimum wage jobs? If somebody's working a minimum wage job, why don't you up the pay a little bit to keep up with that? But the problem is y'all don't. Wages are going to keep not going up. And it's like you working harder than ever for less and less and less and less. Because remember yesterday, or was it today? One of the two. Yesterday I talked about tariffs, right? Okay. Well, now that you taxing other countries on food and stuff, what does that mean for the US and people like me and you that go grocery shopping? If groceries is already high, you gonna make them even higher? I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me. And every time you go shopping, it almost feels like you being punished. I can't tell you how many people I've heard in the grocery store, we don't really need that. We don't really need that. What? A bag of groceries that used to cost 50 is 100, even more. It seems like the cost of living is rising faster than you can even blink. And it is. But for some reason, our paychecks are staying the exact same unless they offer overtime. Other than that, it's at a set amount for a set amount of hours, and you still can't keep up with what's going on outside. So what's the solution? Pick up a second job, third job. At what point do you burn out completely? At what point? At what point? And to be real, it'll come sooner than you think. It'll come sooner than you think. This constant grind and having to try to keep up, or having a constant grind of working, it's going to take a toll on you. Not everybody is built for 2, 3 jobs. They're not. I've seen it happen. I've seen people come and go from 2 jobs, 3 jobs. I've seen it all. And not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, right? Rejection after rejection makes you feel like you're not good enough when you can't find a job, right? Then you watching your bank account drain faster than you can blink, because every time you turn around, your money already got a name on it with no extra income coming in. That could be detrimental for anybody. And I've never heard somebody say, I intentionally want to struggle. I've never heard that. So what I'm saying is, even when you're doing everything you can do to stay afloat, it still seems like it's not enough. And most people feel ashamed, like there's some type of shame or embarrassment behind it. Even when I made a video talk about people who live in their cars, I got a lot of y'all that are in that situation, and that sucks. And the reason why I talk about it is because I see it all the time, like just riding around. I see it more often than none. And nobody wants to admit that they're struggling. When the truth is, I know you are. I know you are. And you don't want to tell your family or friends or nothing like that. I understand that too, because how can I explain it? You don't want to feel like this burden, I guess. That's the best way I could put it. So let's just say, even when you go through stuff, you keep it inside. You don't really talk about it. And you try pushing through. But the problem with that is, it does, you human, bro. Like, you can only endure so much before you explode. You can only endure so much. Granted, I know God ain't gonna put you through nothing that you can't handle. But at the same time, in the same breath, it does get hard. It does get hard when you're doing things by yourself. You don't really have nobody to lean on or stuff like that. So it wears you down, is what I'm saying. You wake up every day feeling defeated before the day even starts. That mental toll it take on you is deep. It's deep. Now, there's a couple of things you could do to fix all that. So, what can you do? The first thing is accepting that we can't rely on just one source of income anymore. That's not the thing. That's that's not it no more. And if you think that is, I want you to explain why you think that is, because I would like to see your answer. I would like to see that. Um, to me, it's we in a world where it seems like it's just not fair, and you got to go with it. I know it's unfair. I know it seems unfair, but you got to go with it. This is the reality we living in. It's what it is. When you accept it, you can start looking at stuff like gig work. You can start delivering food. I talked to y'all about freelancing your work. All right. It's summertime. Summertime coming around the corner. You can really get out here and start freelancing things you are good at, or selling things online. Now I had a couple people say I'm terrible at selling things online. No, you're not. You're just not selling the right products. You're not catching the right people's eyes. See, I've been selling online products since God, since what? It went from Jordans. It went from shoe restorations, Jordans in 2017 all the way to 2020. I was doing that with the Jordan game. Like around after 2020 when everything shut down, 2021 to 2024 before I started doing YouTube full time, I was selling products. I got into cologne. The cologne for me, that's just something that worked for me, changed the game. The AirPods and the cologne changed the game for me. It really did. So, reason being is because electronics sell quicker. Most people and younger people, they into electronics like iPhones, the newest AirPods that you can get, and cologne. Those three things went crazy, especially the cologne, because nobody wants to pay that high ass price of cologne when you walk in the I walk in the Saks. The Bond number 9 is like $300-400, or the Creed is $300. Nobody want to pay that. But if you get it from me for the low, for 150, 200, they're gonna pay that. They're gonna pay that, you know? But those are just something that worked for me. Anything that you could do to get an extra dollar, that's what people need to do. You know, even if this is something that you want to do, I genuinely like doing this. So this isn't really hard to me. You get me? Like, I genuinely like helping people. So I know from my videos, they get a lot of motivation from it. Or, they get a lot of information from what I'm talking about. It just it's not that hard. Granted, yes, you do make money from it, but when it's second nature to you, that's when you can make money. The most money out of it. Do you understand me? Um, I guess that would float into what I'm gonna say next is invest in yourself. For a long time, I never did that. Um, Even when it came to like just upgrading my camera quality or investing in my business, it was something that I would do in increments. I wouldn't do it all the time. And over time I learned, listen, it take money to make money. Invest in yourself. Take the time to learn something. Uh, Learn some high-end demand skill that's going to earn you some money that you can use online, freelance, and as a career. High-end skill that you can use online, outside of online in freelance work, and as a career. If you can find that, you can make the most money. Because at that point, again, it's going to be second nature for you to work. I know it feels overwhelming. It may seem like it's kind of unfair. And I know some days it may feel better to just give up. Like that's the better option. And to be truthful, I have to remind you that you're stronger than you think. Life does throw punches, but every step you take, no matter how small the progress is, the system might be stacked against you, right? But you're resilient, we adapt, and we get to it. Get it, got it, good, right? With all that being said, yeah, I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.